To be a disciple of Christ, I really try to give people dignity and help them find the love that God really has for them so that they can get past any obstacles to a relationship with Him. Well, I am a cradle Catholic. I really did not understand the Catholic faith. I did understand pieces of it, First Communion, First Reconciliation, but I didn't really understand how those can become powerful tools in a person's life. I've come to understand that that is a way to communicate with God and to really open up yourself and be freed of all the sins that you've been carrying around with you. And that's just, there's nothing better than walking out of reconciliation and just having this weight lifted off your shoulders. It's a beautiful part of our faith. I'm practicing my faith as a disciple of Christ by one, being willing to just talk to strangers or people I know about Jesus. That's not an easy thing to do, especially in a culture of pagan attitudes. It's a challenge, but I have to do it because God calls me to do it. Now in my job, I see so many people that are broken from the lies that has been fed to them by the society, TV, movies. People come in and they are just begging for somebody to listen to them. And so that's what I do is I listen, because a lot of times those hurt people, those broken people are just looking for someone to care and to give them hope. And so that's what I try to do when I'm talking to someone. I try to give them dignity, I try to give them hope, and sometimes we're able to give them something that can really change their life. I can tell you about one instance of a lady who came into me years ago to talk, and we were talking about the faith, as I often do. And she had been Catholic, she wasn't practicing, but she felt that she would never be welcome in the Catholic Church. And I said, "Well, why do you feel that way?" And she said, "Well, I've done something that God could never forgive me for." And I said, "What could that possibly be?" And she said, "Well, I had an abortion." I said, "You know what? Even abortion can be forgiven." She said, "But you don't understand." I said, well, what?" And she said, "I've had 4 abortions." I said, "Okay, you know what? Even that is forgivable." She was hindered by her own self-deprecation, her own hurt. And she just couldn't believe that she could be forgiven. I find that very sad. Perhaps her soul would have been affected by my words. I'm not sure. I share my faith just about every day of my life. Um, I share it with people who come in that need help. One of the things that I do when people come in for help is I do remind them that God loves them very much and He wants them back. Often I will tell fallen away Catholics, please come back. It's not as hard as you think it is. We make these stories up in our minds that it's going to be terrifically difficult, but it's not. And the priests that we have now, wow, they are very gentle and they are loving and they are kind in confession. They really are. And they want you to be a member of their community. They really want you. So why not try? Come on back. The biggest challenge that I have faced in sharing my faith are people who are just unwilling to hear anything. They came here for food, they came here for money, and they don't want to hear about God. Of course, they forgot that they're in a church environment, and we might just say something about that. I won't apologize for it. I'll just simply give them the message. And if they're unwilling to hear, then I say, okay, God, now it's your turn. It's planting a seed and hoping that that seed will grow at some point. People often ask me, how can you do this work day in, day out, week, month, year after year? Because I've been doing it for 25 years. I would say to them, the love you give away returns to fill your heart each day. So I'm able to go on because of God's grace in my life. He's been there so often when I am hurting, or when I'm tired, or when I'm exhausted, or when I've just had enough of the church life, He's there, and he always tells me in funny little ways, like, I don't know, like a bird, or maybe a parking space, having the first spot, being late, and there it is, spot number 1 for me. I mean, he just gives me the best gifts all the time. How could you not want to continue on? And to have people come back and tell you, hey, you know what you said about having a church community? You were right. I now have a church community and things are better. And what about that baby? Did you have that baby? Yes, I did. Even though my husband wanted to abort, I had that baby. I'm so much happier now. It wasn't a Catholic community. It was a different community. God will meet you where you are, whoever you are. And it's not up to me to judge. So that's what I would say about that, is all the love you give away returns to fill your heart each day.